Okay, good morning, students. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, audible.
Okay, fine. So, in my last class, I think I had discussed on the concepts of the applications of the geology in civil engineering practices, and we have also completed the concept of the internal structure and composition of the earth, as well as the physical properties. So, from this class, we shall look into the group of minerals. What are their properties? How and exactly they are helpful from civil engineering perspective. Okay, because in many a times civil engineering concepts are dealt often with these kinds of minerals itself, whether in the foundation used as a ballasts or during the laying of the roads, anything like that. Okay, drop in your user numbers along with your name in the chat box, and if you have got any discrepancy in the attendance, then those who are not given their USN along with their name, some discrepancy might have occurred. Okay, I have added the attendance status of till yesterday in the groups, respective groups, and also I have created a Google Classroom. Has everybody joined the Google Classroom using the code?
Yes,
Everybody
sir.
do join the Google Classroom with your respective name and USN numbers. Okay, everybody has to join along with respective USN number and your names. Okay, okay. So in this class, we shall start our discussion on quartz group of minerals. Now, what are these quartz group of minerals? Actually, this quartz group of mineral is a mineral which is composed of only silicon and oxygen. The general chemical composition of the quartz is SiO2. Okay, so it is formed by a continuous framework of SiO4 silicon oxygen tetrahedra. Okay, so single silicon atom is being shared by four oxygen atoms. In reality, it looks like a pyramid. Okay, in reality, the quartz atom or the molecule mineral quartz mineral looks like a pyramid, wherein at the topmost level you get the silicon atom, and the four oxygen atoms are bounded in such a way that it forms a pyramid. Okay, so the overall chemical formula of the quartz is SiO2. So you know that the quartz is the second most abundant mineral which is found in the Earth's crust, Earth's continental crust, not the oceanic crust, because the continental crust is composed of two elements, silicon and aluminium. Okay, Sial, and the oceanic crust is composed of Sima, that is silicon, magnesium. Okay, so the quartz is the second most abundant element or the mineral that is found in the Earth's crust after feldspar. So the most abundant mineral found on the Earth crust is feldspar, and the second most important mineral found on the Earth crust is the quartz. Okay, quartz crystals are, what happens is they are chiral in nature, and they exist in two forms. They are chiral in nature and they exist in two forms. One is alpha quartz, normal temperature alpha quartz, and a high temperature beta quartz. Okay, so their chiral means they both of them are always interconnected to one another. The alpha quartz and the beta quartz are always associated with one another. It looks like one is being turned into another one. Okay, it just looks like a winding of one mineral along the other mineral. Okay, so the two forms of the quartz are the normal alpha quartz at a room temperature and higher temperature beta quartz. Okay, so the transformation from alpha quartz to beta quartz usually takes place very abruptly at 573 degrees Celsius, that is 846 kelvins. Okay, so the transformation is always accompanied by a change in volume. So that is why what happens is sometimes you can see the ceramics or the flooring ceramics that are being used in the houses, the vitrified tiles, the sanitary wares. Usually what happens is when the slight amount of temperature and pressure change exists in the area, that sanitary ware, ceramic wares gets fractured, or it can be very easily induced into fracturing, or there will be, what happens is the breakage of the ceramic tiles, ceramic wares, or the sanitary wares occurs, because these rocks will be able to sustain only until certain temperature pressure conditions. Okay, when the temperature pressure conditions of an area exists, or if it exceeds the required temperature pressure, then the fracturing of these ceramics or rocks usually takes place. Okay, so that's why what happens is small amount of change in volume or temperature or pressure is not easily affected, but a slightly higher amount of temperature and pressure or the volume is induced into these rocks, then there is usually the changes that occurs, and that changes can be seen by fracturing or breaking of the ceramic wares, the sanitary wares, or the floorings. Okay, ceramic floors. Usually, sometimes what happens is you can see the fractures or the cracks that are being observed in the ceramics. Okay, that is because of the usual inversion of alpha quartz to beta quartz. Then there are many varieties of quartz, some of which are very semi-precious gemstones. Okay, they are used as a semi-precious gemstones. Some of them are antique and have been found used in making of jewelry and hearthstone carvings, especially from the Eurasia, that is parts of Europe and Asia. Okay, parts of Europe and Asia. Okay, some of them are having a higher antique value, and some of them have got low antique value, but they are used as a very important semi-precious gemstones. Now coming to general physical properties of the quartz group. Okay, so these are the general physical properties of the quartz group. So you have to be very clear, and this question always occurs in the examinations. Very now and then you can find these questions, they may ask for the general physical properties of the quartz group. General physical properties. Okay, so the color is usually, the quartz group occurs in every color. Common colors are clear white, white, pink, green. Seen for the quartz group of minerals. The streak is colorless because the quartz group of minerals are usually harder than the streak plate. That's why the streak will never occur. So luster is vitreous luster, that as of a broken glass. The diaphanty is usually transparent to translucent. So cleavages are none. I told you that the cleavages are totally absent within the quartz group of minerals. See, This may be one of the important Viva question also in the next semester. If you study the practicals also, this is an important Viva question. People may ask, or the examiner may ask for you, which group of mineral does not possess any cleavages. It is only the quartz group. Quartz group is the only group of minerals which do not possess any cleavages, but it has got a conchoidal fracture. Conchoidal fracture means, I told you that the mineral breaks like that of a concave lenses. Okay, like that of a concave lenses, if any mineral breaks, then such a type of fracture is called as a conchoidal fracture. Okay, so the hardness of this mineral is about 7. The specific gravity is 2.6 to 2.7. So what are the diagnostic properties? So from which, by virtue of which we can identify the mineral, is that the conchoidal fracture becomes the diagnostic property. The glassy luster, that like of a broken glass, if the mineral shines like that of a broken glass, and the hardness. So these are the 3 important properties by virtue of which we can identify the quartz group of minerals. One is a conchoidal fracture, the glassy luster, and the hardness. Okay, so coming to the chemical composition is SiO2 and crystal system is hexagonal. So now what are the uses? The uses are, it is extensively used in the manufacture of glass making, abrasives, foundry sand, hydraulic fracturing propellant, and gemstones. Now, what is an abrasive and refractory? Okay. What is a abrasive and what is a refractory? So abrasive, make note of this point. Abrasives are the substances which can withstand very high pressure. Abrasives are the substances which can withstand very high pressure. Hence, they are used for polishing the materials. Because of its high pressure density, it can withstand very high pressure. These abrasives or the abrasive minerals are usually used as materials for polishing. Like you can have seen, the people usually use the emery paper for polishing. It is also abrasive, which means to say it can be used for polishing the material. Okay, any material which can withstand very high pressure is called as an abrasive. Okay, so next is refractory. So what is a refractory? So refractories are those which are resistant to high temperature. Any material which can withstand very high temperature is usually called as a refractory. So where are these refractory bricks used? So refractory bricks are usually used as the lining for the furnaces. You might have seen the furnaces, wherein the furnaces are built with certain amount of the materials like the bricks. Okay, so that bricks are very capable of withstanding very high temperature. Okay, so that bricks will usually not be able to that bricks will not be very easily broken apart. Okay, you might have seen that if you ever come to Bhadravati VISL, you can see that the blast furnace is usually lined with certain amount of bricks. Okay, just as you build the houses with the bricks, similarly, the interior part of the furnace will be lined with bricks, because the temperature which is required will be sustained inside the furnace only. That bricks will never let out the temperature that is present within the furnace. Okay, so once the furnace gets charged, that is full amount of temperature is present in the furnace, and around 1823 degrees Celsius, I repeat, 1823 degrees Celsius is the temperature that is required for the iron to get melted. That will be the temperature at which usually the pure iron will be formed. Okay, so every now and then you cannot be giving the charge to that furnace. The temperature should not come down. So what they do is, usually they line with certain amount of bricks, which is called as a refractory bricks, all along the furnaces, so that the temperature will not go outside the furnace. Okay, and the outside temperature will not come into the furnace. Okay, so that is your law of your thermodynamic also. Okay, one of the law of your thermodynamic also. That is your temperature, internal temperature should not go outside, and outside temperature should not affect inside the furnace. Okay, so that kind of materials are usually called as refractories. Then coming to the chemical classification, it is classified under silicate material. What are the occurrences? Occurrences, it is usually constituent of granite and other rocks, igneous rocks. It is also very common in sedimentary rocks such as sandstone and shale, and also as a minor accessory mineral in most of the carbonate rocks. So now uses, as you know, it is used in the manufacture of glass or the soda glass, the soda bottles which are available in the market. You can see, okay, there it is usually used, and also it is used in the as a optical fiber also. It is used as an optical fiber glass. You might have seen a recent development in telecommunication, that is use of optical fibers. Okay, so such optical fibers are usually manufactured using the quartz, and also in the steel industries as a ferrosilicon. It is also used as in the steel industries as a ferrosilicon. Okay, another important use is the construction industry such as sands, electronic industries as a piezoelectric material. What is piezoelectric material? So piezoelectric material means which can very easily conduct the, or which can offer the resistance to the movement of electrons. Okay, and also in watches as abrasive material, and also some of the very good crystalline varieties, it is used as a gemstones in jewelry. As I already said, the clear variety of quartz is usually used as American diamond. Okay, the very clear variety of the quartz is usually used as a American diamond. So that itself is your usual one. Okay, usually you can see the American diamond variety also. They are usually clear varieties of the quartz mineral. Okay, so then coming to the next important point, what are the uses for quartz? Now, uses for the quartz is that it is one of the most useful natural materials. So, its usefulness is not only linked to that of the physical properties but also for the chemical properties also. Now, what is that physical and chemical properties? See, the hardness is 7 on the Mohs scale, which makes it very durable because of the very high hardness. Okay, so the hardness of the mineral is very high. Once the hardness is being very high, the durability of the mineral also increases. Okay, so the durability of the mineral also increases because the hardness, wherever the hardness is being increased, wherever the hardness is being increased, the durability again increases. Okay, so then coming to the important one is that it is chemically inert in contact with most of the substances. See, for any material, for its hardness to be increased, it should be chemically inert. It should not react with every other element or every other mineral or every other metal to form a compound. Okay, unless and until any mineral, if it is chemically inert to other atoms or the chemical reactions taking place in nature, then only the mineral can be survived. Okay, if the mineral has to survive, then it should be usually chemically inert. Okay, once if the chemical reactions is very strong like that of the limestone, see, small amount of limestone, if it comes in contact with water, then calcium carbonate forms. Okay, calcium carbonate usually reacts with water to form either calcium bicarbonate or a calcium hydroxide. Okay, so then if the same calcium carbonate If it reacts with acids, then you can know that carbonation takes place. But usually, this quartz is chemically inert. That's why it can be found in nature for many years. It can be found in nature for many years. Then it has its electrical properties and heat resistance that make it valuable in electronic products. Now you can see that silicon diodes, semiconductors, or the silicon diodes are the semiconductors which are being used. Okay, so the semiconductors and the silicon diodes are usually having that kind of electrical property and heat resistance that it can be used as a small products in the electronic goods. Okay, and also the luster of the mineral, the color, and also the diaphanity. These are very important aspects which makes the quartz mineral very useful for manufacture of gemstones and also in the manufacture of glass. Okay, so you can see how quartz is used in the glass making. Occasionally deposit quartz that are composed of 100% quartz grains. So which such high purity silica sand are usually identified and used in the manufacture of your glasses. Okay, so quartz sand itself is used in the production of container glass, flat plate glass, specialty glass, and also the fiber glasses. So uses of quartz as an abrasive. Now how quartz is used as abrasive? Because of its high hardness. What is the hardness of quartz? The hardness of quartz is 7 on the Mohs scale. Okay, so the harder the material, the more useful as abrasive. Okay, so that's why it is used as a very excellent abrasive material. Okay, sometimes what happens is quartz sands and finely ground silica sand are also used for sand blasting, scoring cleaners, grinding media, and grit for sanding and sawing. Okay, so then as a foundry sand. So what is a foundry sand? As I already stated, that quartz is a very resistant to both chemicals and heat. Okay, so that's why what they do is usually this sand is quartz is used as a foundry sand. If you travel from Shumaga to Bhadravati and along the bypass road from Bhadravati towards Bangalore, if you travel along the bypass road, you can see much amount of the foundry sand that are being deposited on the either sides by these industrial areas which is present in Machanalli. Some of the industries which use the foundry sand for melting of the materials or the metals, then the black sand which is used after the production of complete melting, the black sand is usually let off in that way itself. All along the parts of bypass road on either sides, you can find these foundry sands which are being dumped. Okay, so it is you with a high melting temperature higher than most metals. It can be used for molds and cores of the common foundry works. Okay, foundry works, what they usually do is they usually melt or remelt the material, cast or recast the materials. Okay, for which this silica is being used. Okay, refractory bricks, as often said, that they are made up of quartz sand, and because of its high heat resistance, and also it is used as a flux in smelting of certain metals, like very important it is your iron. So in the manufacture of smelting of iron, quartz or silica is a very important material which is being used for your smelting process, wherein amount of the silica, the more amount of silica, the more amount of slag can be removed in the form of calcium silicate and magnesium silicate, CaSiO3 and MgSiO3, which is often removed as a slag. Okay, the slag that is present within the iron ore, that is your calcium silicate and magnesium silicate, are usually removed from the ore or the iron because of its presence. Okay, so then used in the petroleum industry, as it is a very small amounts of the quartz is being used as a petroleum industry also. It has a high resistance to being crushed. So what happens is hand slurries are forced on the oil wells and gas wells with under very high pressures, and that pressure is called as a hydraulic fracturing. So what happens is this high pressure fractures the reservoir rocks, and the sand is slurry injects into the fractures. Then what happens is the sand grains holds the fracture open, and the pressure released, and through these pressures the flow of natural gas facilitates. Okay, so then quartz sand uses, yes, it is used as a filler in the manufacture of rubber paint and putties. As a filler, okay, filler means it is used as an additive, in rubber paints and putties. So can be screened and washed, and carefully sized quartz grains are used as a filter media and roofing granules also. Quartz sands are also used for traction in the railroad and mining industries, and also it is used in the recreation of golf courses. You can see all along the golf courses, you can see some of the amount of your quartz sand that is being deployed, white quartz sand. Even the volleyball courts, the baseball fields, sandboxes and beaches, all of them contain the quartz. Now even the quartz crystals are also being used. The crystal oscillators in ancient times, what happened was, every now and then, for every hour, the pendulum used to swing. Okay, so the pendulum used to swing means it was because of the usage of the quartz crystal inside the pendulum. For every hour, the alarm used to sound in your wall clocks. Okay, so these type of the oscillators were developed in 1920s, and later much of them were also used, supplied during the Second World War. These quartz crystals were used for your sand timings also. Okay, hourglasses. Okay, even today billions of quartz crystals are used in the manufacture of oscillators for watches, clocks, radios. Yes, of course the radio is now outdated, but still they are being deployed in radios, televisions, electronic games, computers, cell phones, electronic meters, and also the GPS equipments. The quartz crystals are being deployed. Okay, and also a wide variety of uses have been developed in optical grade quartz crystals. They're also used to make specialized lenses, like that for your microscopes. Yes, microscopes contains a quartz wedge. Even your optical microscope, the petrological microscope, and also your illumination microscope, the electronic microscope, electron microscope, scanning electron microscopes, everywhere these quartz wedges are being deployed. Okay, and also they are also used in the manufacture of the windows and filters, which are used in lasers, microscopes, telescopes, electronic sensors, and scientific instruments. Okay, material of beach sand is now the material of the world's most advanced electronic devices. Once upon a time, the beach sand like that found in the Madras beach. Okay, so you know that in Madras there is a beach. The beach that is found in Madras. Okay, I cannot remember the name very easily. Yes, Marina Beach. Yes, thank you very much. So
Maria
that
Beach.
Marina Beach, it contains small amounts of zircon. Okay, so that zircon is used as a very important gemstone. You might have seen people you wearing zircon. Okay, even that zircon is also used for your half-life decay, and also in your nuclear reactions. And most of your specific bombs and also the nuclear weapons contain zircon. Okay, for which these sands are being deployed. Okay, even that beach is now the sand from that beach is also used in the manufacture of a certain parts of your mobile phones, the laptops, the gaming accessories. Okay, the gaming accessories also, they contain all these zircon mixed beach sands. Okay, so yes, quartz as a gemstone, yes, it is a very excellent gemstone because it is hard, durable, and also it is accepts a brilliant polish. So which varieties like that of your amethyst, citrine, rose quartz, smoky quartz, and aventurine? Yes, agate and jasper also are varieties with a microcrystalline structures. You can see how amethyst, this is a very good example for your blue sapphire. Now people usually wear the amethyst It has become a very fashion now. Every now and then we can see these kind of gemstones. Yes, this is actually the raw gemstone, and this is a finally polished one. The one that is you can see on the left side, this is your raw metal or the raw quartz crystal, and this is your finished product. Okay, so this is amethyst. You can see how exactly the amethyst occurs. The crystalline structure is it's in such a way that they are carefully removed from the structure, and they are given small amount of polish, not huge amount. Small amount of polish is enough for the material to be used as a gemstone. Okay, you can see this is a very important variety of a clear crystal, clear white crystalline quartz. Okay, so this variety is called as a rock crystal. This rock crystal itself is cut very carefully and polished and used as a gemstone. That is your American diamond. Okay, it resembles same like that of your American diamond itself when cut and polished in certain parts. Okay, so then this is your the rock crystal again. It exactly occurs in this way itself. You can see the tender slender columns like structures. Okay, so then this is one of the variety of your white quartz. Yes, this white quartz is known to carry gold along with them. So this is certain varieties of your other agates which are used for your gemstones. You can see how exactly the work will be found. So these are the this is the gray quartz along which you can find certain quartz also. This is a deposit of your agate, so which are being cut and polished. So these are also known as the jasper and the chert, which is known to carry gold, and also some of them are used as a decorative purposes also. And so this is how you can see the quartz crystals. Now they are found in the form of the very good crystals. You can see this is the found of Australian opal, which is used as a gemstone. Okay, so these are the important varieties of your quartz and their properties. If you have got any questions, you can ask me now. I have completed one more concept of the quartz. So in my next class, I'll be continuing on the feldspar. So if I got any questions, we can discuss it, or you can WhatsApp me up on my personal phone. I will be able to solve your doubt. Okay. So we shall continue our discussion next class. Thank you.